Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the STiKS EU. My name is Alex, as per usual, and I'm here with my co-host. Somehow he's still here. I tried to get rid of him, but he's still here. Obviously, that's Tommy. And then we're kind of here with a little bit of a special guest. Someone who, you might be able to tell by the overlay. It says underneath his name, it's Infused Reedy. Hello.
Alright, guys.
Might as well quickly introduce everyone, kind of name your affiliations within the community, kind of say what team you play for. Obviously, it's kind of underneath your name, but first of all, we'll go for Tommy, then go for me, and then go to you really last.
Alright,
Introduce yourself.
Okay, what's going on, guys? My name's Tommy. I apparently know nothing about esports, according to Alex on Twitter yesterday. I'll take the burn. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about me. I'm not really the star of the show, shall we say?
Well, yeah, again, I think that's it. I don't want to say I'm the star of the show. The star of the show is obviously the person who's sitting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this way or that way. I'll have to have a look in a minute. But sitting next to me, to my right, as you look at the screen, that's obviously Reedy. So, yeah, obviously I'm Alex, also known as iRage. I cast every now and again if you let me. Not casting this weekend. And yeah, that's me.
Oh, okay.
What about Reedy?
Yeah, right, guys. I'm Infused Reedy. I'll be at EU Regionals this weekend, competing under Infused.
Like
For that. Unlike someone else who won't be casting there at all.
Oh, this is
He's just not good enough.
Oh, not good enough. Oh, no.
It's a shame, man. You need to get grinding, Alex, man. What's going on?
I'm not good enough.
Apparently you play Call of Duty as well, rather than cast.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm that good. It's like I have to cast because otherwise you just like ban me from competing because I'd be too good. So that's just how it works. That's the reason how I kind of got forced into casting. But yeah, moving on from me on my depressing tale of how I'm not going to be here this weekend at regionals. Someone who is obviously here this weekend. Reedy, I need to talk about your qualification because obviously you went through the online qualifiers with Infused. How did that Infused team kind of come together? Because it was kind of announced last minute that you was on Infused.
All right, so basically, we had 3 days to make a team. Me and James were always going to team. We just didn't know the final 2 players. Sorry, 1 minute, let me quickly mute my phone. We went for Quicker Than You because we know Shay's a good player. He was training for Epsilon just before Swanee came back. And we knew he was a good player, so we picked him up. He had quite a significant amount of pro points, which would have made the qualification process easier. And we picked up Brad as well, Endura. But yeah, stuff wasn't working out with Endura, so we got rid of Brad and got Melanin. So we literally was a last-minute pickup team.
And to be honest, yeah, I mean,
still qualified. I mean,
exactly. I was about to say, it could have been that bad. Make it sound horrible.
Yeah,
but,
we had 5th seed as well, so like we had to play Aware to qualify, and in the first qualification that we played Aware in, we managed to beat them 3-1, which went well. So that was our hardest game.
I remember watching that game, and it was so close. Like 3-1, from what I can remember of the game. I mean, it was quite a while ago. I've got kind of a bit of a cloudy memory, but from what I can remember, that game was 3-1. Doesn't give it justice because it was incredibly close, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it probably should have went last map. They completely choked on the CTF, so yeah.
Fair enough. Obviously, this show kind of appeals to an international audience. It's not a lot of people are gonna know exactly who you are. So, what's your background in the community? I mean, I kind of did my research. It says here on this piece of paper in front of me that you was top 64 at EGL5, what was a Modern Warfare 3 event. So you've been around the community for a while.
Mm-hmm.
How did you kind of get into it, and how did you kind of find yourself now where you're on one of the top teams in Europe?
Well, I started when I was like 13, 14, playing GBs with my friend, like hardcore GBs, and I played hardcore until MW3, and then I just one day I saw EGL5 was announced, and I just booked the tickets and just went. And then ever since then, I've just been like trying to like work my way up the ladder, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And I'd say Ghost was my breakthrough game, because at I-51, I came 5th, and then everything since then just taken off to like playing against better people, doing better at events and online.
Well, yeah, I can kind of talk personally about that. Like towards the end of Ghost, especially at EGL 13, that was kind of like my event where I met you for the first time. That was kind of a surprising event because I kind of went into the tournament not really knowing much about that team. And you really impressed me personally. I know you impressed a lot of people as well. And I believe you finished 2nd. So would you say that's probably a highlight of the year? Would you say like ESWC actually go into there for different countries?
Yeah, 100%. Coming 2nd at EGL 13 was definitely the best thing of the Go season for ourselves because a week before we just qualified for G3 and everyone was saying, oh, we didn't deserve to be there. Like, why are Exerters going G3? They're not good on LAN because we was a renowned online team. And we went to EGL 13 and came 2nd, beating TCM. So
think you definitely proved a point there.
Mm. Yeah, we was the only team on Ghost that where both TCM and Epsilon attended to be in a grand final. So
Yeah.
That's not a bad stat, though.
Yeah,
It's not a really bad statistic when you look at like, the rosters of Epsilon and TCM. Them obviously they're a little bit different now, but yeah, I guess it talking back to that G3 thing. I believe it was like an online qualification. Then like the top 4 teams went to like the Gfinity Studios for a LAN or somewhere along those lines. Was it Lightning Pandas, ZenX,
Yeah.
you, and who else? I can't remember the last team.
last team, I think it was a French team with Carbon and that on, but they were too young to play.
Yeah.
So they got taken out of the bracket. So yeah, it ended up being a 3-team event.
How was that experience? Because I imagine like it's a little bit surreal, obviously going from EGL's nice series is to the point where you managed to get the chance to go in probably the biggest event.
It was a good experience. The studios weren't that far away from me, so I didn't have to do any traveling really. Yeah, it was good. The guys down at Gfinity are really like nice people and that, so they just made everything easy. You just got there, you played, and that was it really. Like, pretty simple. Like we just want the competition there weren't that great though because we won both games 3-0, 3-0, and then 3-1. So it was pretty easy.
Too dominant.
Yeah,
Dominant. Yeah,
it was a good squad. We was a good squad.
Yeah. Do you want to kind of break down the Infused lineup because
All right. So
kind of it's a little bit of bits and bobs. I'm sure people kind of might know Dom, especially from an American audience, because obviously he was on the Epsilon lineup. But they might not know Melon, and they might not know Cheer as much as
Shay.
Oh, sorry.
You can't get a person's name.
Sorry. I was going quicker than you from now on. I apologise.
Yeah. Alright, so Dom, obviously, Gears of War Pro, like amazing at Gears, one of the best players on Gears, and then he came over to COD, got a chance with Epsilon, won his second event, I think, on COD with Epsilon, so at I-53.
Yeah.
And then went to UMG with them, obviously, things didn't plan out. He ended up getting released or leaving, however you want to put it. Shay, former Lightning Pandas, he's been to an MLG event with them. So he's a good player. Like, he was one of the best, like Shane would even say he was a good player. He had potential in that team. I've got like utmost respect for Shay. He's a really good player now. Like, he's learned quite a lot as well since like playing with us. He's taken a lot on board. He's shown his willingness to learn and take advice from me and James. And Melon, he's just a GB warrior.
I can remember, wasn't Melon on the LC lineup before he kind of like found himself not on a team? Was he on any other teams?
Yeah, he was on XNX for IC.
Oh yeah, of course.
With and Co. They didn't have a good event.
No, well, yeah. To be honest, I believe didn't he place quite high on the LC during?
Yeah, he came 6th at EGL 13. Like, Melon's always had talent. It's always been there, but he's just never had a team around him with high caliber players that could help him perform at that high level. So.
Okay, with that being said, how did Infuse exactly form? Because obviously back UMG Orlando, you were on basic, and then kind of from there, that team kind of went downhill. And then how exactly have you formed this roster?
Literally, it was just a mash of players, man. We had 4 days before like, champs,
and you just put together who you had.
Yeah, we just put a mash of players, and like we didn't really know what was going on.
No, from what I'm led to believe, again, I'm not going, so you probably know a little bit more about it. But obviously, regionals, the way it works is you have to play one game, I believe, against a Millennium by how the pro points works. And then obviously, if you win that game, you qualify for LA. What is your anticipations going into that Millennium? Obviously, I assume you're going to be going in there quite confident, expecting the win.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, Mill are a great team. I've teamed with Marky, Reese from, like, majority of my better off career, like, when I was in better teams and that. Jake, don't really know him. Carnage is a brilliant player. Obviously, you want to win. They're in a gaming house right now practicing, so fair play to them. They're putting as much time as they can into the game. We're trying to do the same from at home. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun game. It's definitely going to be the best game of the weekend, 100%.
Do you feel like, obviously, you basically being... It was kind of a duo with that you and Rated for, like, Ghosts and, like, again, as you said previously before that. Do you feel as if that might have an effect? Obviously, the fact that you know how he plays, he knows how you play. Do you reckon you're going to kind of, like, you're psyching it out or not?
No. We're both, like, good players. We know, like, it doesn't matter, that kind of stuff. When, we was a duo.
You're friends at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So...
Sorry. But yeah, it'll just be a fun game, to be honest.
And then, To be honest, from what I've heard, obviously I see a lot on Twitter. I speak to quite a few people, I speak to quite a few casters. They're kind of tipping your game to be the closest game of the event because both the teams are quite evenly matched. Knowing that, do you kind of practice more than you would, or do you just like take a game as it is, take it as a game, and just try and do as much?
It's just a normal it's just the same as any other game you play at a LAN event. Like yeah, there's more on the line. Trip to LA. But if you think too much into like, oh, Mill's streaming, let's go watch them, see what they're doing, that stuff can just like bite you in the ass. Like,
if you're watching someone stream, then you're not practicing yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So you just got to do what you can to win, and stuff will fall into place 100%.
How is obviously the Infused lineup doing? Do you reckon they're up there, or do you reckon there's still a long way to go? With obviously about 2 or 3 more days until.
No, we're doing really well at the minute. I'll say we're the best now than we have been in recent weeks. Like we've been getting first rounded in so many tournaments.
Oh my lord, that's got to be demoralising.
Yeah, it was. We had a big talk, and then last few days we've been doing pretty well. Like the 2K we came in the final. We didn't play in the 5K. Got into the final of the G-Fin on that same day. Won an AM2 Pro event, online pay to play. But like we're doing better. Let's just say.
Do you feel as if like those AM2 Pro events, as well as obviously playing in your G-Fin, do you feel as if like they're kind of the best type of practice? Because obviously, I know obviously you're kind of probably playing the top teams later on, but do you feel as if like playing some teams who are obviously lesser known in the first couple of rounds, do you feel as if that's going to kind of help you expecting the unpredicted? Because obviously,
yeah, because like them teams want to prove so much to you when they're playing say a pro team. They try so hard. It's mind blowing, but it's good though because like they're trying that hard to beat you. You just got to make sure you don't lose. Like in the AM2 Pro, like pay to play. I think if they host one every Monday, they'll get a lot of teams in it because on a Monday there's nothing to do.
True.
So yeah.
Now obviously going. I talked about the bracket, and obviously the way it works is it's a European qualifiers. Do you feel as if there's going to be any dark horses coming in the competition, as in like through the French qualifiers? I mean, we'll talk about the UK qualifiers after this, but do you feel as if, from what you're aware, do you see any French teams, any German teams, any Finnish teams, or any other European teams that might surprise a few when it comes to LA?
I think Hyper Games are a really good team.
Yeah.
The FAVE Germany team can be really really good. And
what about
the Dutch
French teams?
Yeah, HG, Hyper Games, Maxi, Fezo King, Tony JS is a beast, man. He's like another Swanee.
Is it another mellow situation where
bro, he's a straight statue. He doesn't move anywhere on the map. He just sits there, just chills.
That must be weird playing obviously in Advanced Warfare with such a fast pace, just having someone who plays. I mean, like obviously Swanee's play style, it was kind of known, especially in like the former CODs, of just being stationary, and obviously he's had to kind of change that up a little bit with Advanced Warfare. So you're just saying that like Tony J just sits still, and just free.
It's because like you get thrown off really when you play against people like that because they're just statues. They just don't move, and they're just like move around the map, man. Like, do something.
Left up that joystick.
Yeah, it doesn't boost anyway. Just rolling around the map. Like, all right then, that's fine.
Okay, anywho, moving on. So in regards to all the other matches, because obviously within the UK at least, and Ireland, there's going to be, I think, 4 matchups. What are your predictions for the other 3 matchups other than yours?
All right, so I believe Epsilon are playing Sours and Co.
Yeah.
Sours and that. I think Epsilon should win that game 3-0.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Sours and that. I just think Epsilon's team's just too strong. Swanee.
I don't think they dropped an S&D during the online qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's correct. Their S&D is crazy. We played them the other day and they mollywopped us. So I think Epsilon should win that game pretty easy. Barrage against TCM. I think TCM should win that game easy again. But maybe Barrage might be able to nick an S&D.
Haven't Barrage been using some weird strats or something?
Oh my god! In the qualifiers they use the assault drone, but I don't think they'll use that on land because it's just straight disrespectful. Like the best teams in the world play a certain way with no streaks, nothing like that, because it's not skillful using that kind of stuff. And they I think it was against EP, like Mohawk's team.
Yeah, I think I can remember seeing the Twitter aftermath of seeing like.
Yeah. It just wasn't cool, really, man. Like, especially if you're agreeing not to do it and then doing it, it's just not fair.
It's a bit scumbag, but some people are like that, I guess.
Wow, the roast.
It's true though. Like, if you agree to do something and then you don't do that, you go away from it. Like, you're kind of like, I don't know. It's just wrong. It's disrespectful.
Moving on, because obviously, I don't want to like offend anyone from Barrage or any fans of Barrage. Then obviously you got the Aware Tech game.
That
What
should
I
be close.
personally kind of predicting Tech. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm going to agree with you on that because Aware have not been practicing at all. Like, I was going to join Aware as well before regionals, and they decided, like, PE got released from Epsilon, all that happened, and they went with PE. And if I was in that team, they have a chance of going to LA, and they're not grinding. Oh, one of them's sick, or one of them's feeling a bit. Oh, just get on and play, man. Like, stop feeling sorry for yourself, like, because
He's got cold. He's got a headache.
Tech are playing, like, and you're gonna get there, and you're gonna think, right, you're gonna be in that booth, and you're gonna think like, I want to win now. And then if Tech start beating them, they're just gonna fall to pieces. I reckon Tech will win that.
Do you reckon that they think Tech are quite an easy opponent, shall we say?
Yeah, 100%.
I think that they can literally just 3-0 them and then be done with it and go on to LA.
Yeah, because for them getting third seed to play Tech, they had to it was either play Tech or play us.
Okay.
And they see Tech as the easier option, I think.
Yeah.
Like, so was anyone really. If you get the higher seed, you get the easier game, really, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
so it goes normally, but.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not practicing, that kind of, says that they don't deserve a spot. Because, I mean, Tech have probably been scrimming so hard coming up to, obviously, probably the biggest LAN of their lives. Because if they get to champs, that would be, phenomenal for that. I think they were there last year. I think, obviously, it was a different
Robson realised was there last year under Tech, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. I memean, obviously, with what happened with Tech, they kind of disbanded before COD champs, and obviously, there was on the Tech. Do you feel as if... I kind of have a feeling that Robs and Realize have that connection, obviously being with Tech Intensity. I believe that was their full name for COD Champs last year.
Yeah.
Do you feel as if that might motivate them a little bit more? Because knowing Robs a little bit, knowing rated a little bit, knowing Robs and Realize a little bit. Wow, I just mind blanked. Do you feel as if that might kind of motivate them a little bit more or not?
Yeah, 100%. Robs and Realize both, and Juicy and Lewis, they've all been champs. They've all went there last year. No one from the Aware team have been. They know what it takes to win. I just have a really gut feeling that Tech should win that match.
I mean, I kind of said as well that Tech, in my opinion, are the favourites. But they kind of coming into it on the underdogs. I mean, if you look at the Aware roster, it's Joe, JT, PT, and Watson.
Pretty well-known names.
Exactly. So obviously you've got people like PT on there.
Yeah.
I'd say Aware are the more favoured team to win, but just they've not been playing, man. And how can you not play? It just mind blows me. I just don't understand.
There's $1 million on the line, and they're like, "No, I just, I want to relax and not play." It's mind blowing.
It's crazy. But yeah, I've teamed with PE before, Watson at ESWC, and I just don't know what's going through their heads at the minute. To be fair.
I mean, from what I've spoke to PE and what I spoke to Watson, they seem like the sort of players who obviously want to grind the game. I haven't actually spoke to Joe and JT, but it seems like is JT who's ill or is it Joe?
Joe, apparently.
So obviously, in case you don't know the story, Joe's ill. According to his Twitter, he's severely ill, not being able to move, not being able to twiddle his thumbs, ill. So obviously, as a result, it means that the Aware team are very, very under practice. I believe they haven't played in 9 or 10 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, that's got to have a little bit of a problem going up to a major tournament. If they qualify, they have a chance of winning over $1 million or $1 million. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. Talking about practicing, how often are you guys practicing? I mean, obviously you've got Gfinity's coming up, and that's why the show's going to finish very soon because obviously you do have a Gfinity. Do you feel as if that online practice is going to be so crucial as when it comes to actually going to the tournament?
We're trying to play every single day, as much as we can. Yesterday we couldn't practice because of Shays and that fully just died on him. They had to send an engineer out today, so we couldn't play yesterday, which is a shame. But yeah, we try to be on as much as you can because online practice is the only practice you can get really at the minute, unless we went to a pre-LAN with a different team. Just isn't viable in the UK, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's it. Is obviously, if you go to America, do you kind of see your team doing well as well? I mean, obviously it was kind of scratched together last minute. Say best case situation for you do qualify by beating Millennium. Do you feel as if realistically you'll make an impact on that?
Pardon? Sorry?
Do you feel as if obviously if you do beat Millennium and you do qualify to LA, do you feel as if your team has what it takes to finish within the money, finish within the top 8 sections, or do you feel as if He just there to
Yeah,
pick up
100%.
numbers.
Like you're not, no one's going to want to go there from
Yeah.
the UK just to make up numbers. Everyone that qualifies is going to want to grind the game out constantly.
Yeah.
And just
I definitely feel like the competition in the UK especially is higher than ever before, like compared to previous years. So it's going to be really interesting to see like how they do. But we've got a question coming in from, I think his name's Joshua. I can't do his at. You can probably see it on your screen though. He's basically asking though, what is the mentality for British players going into champs? Are they reserved or optimistic?
I'd say like most players could be optimistic about going like that, but more time you're reserved. Like you just want to get out there, get the job
Yeah.
done. Like, to say that, like I can't really explain. Sorry. I'm having a mind about myself here. Mentality of British players going into champs. Like you just got the mentality of if you get past the first hurdle, you're gonna like have that mentality of you want to cash out, you want to do well, you want to show that EU can hang in it, because UMG, every single EU team flopped. Last champs, no one placed in the money. Like the only event a UK team's done good at was MLG Anaheim with TCM coming third, and they give us props for that. But a month later, that's forgotten. Like no one remembers TCM coming third at an American event.
Didn't Epsilon get like second at G3? Was it? I think.
Something like that. Epsilon came second at G3. But when we're going over, with a G20 event, there's always been a UK team in the final.
Yeah.
But when we're going over to America, like we will normally just don't perform.
Do you feel as if that's kind of like a monkey on your back sort of thing? Is like knowing the fact that mostly UK teams, but European teams in general don't really perform when they go to America. Do you feel if that's kind of like always on your shoulders and it's kind of like a curse, so to speak?
I didn't realize how bad it was until I played at UMG. Like, because when I was sitting at home watching the American events, I was thinking I could do this. Like, why? Like, you just feel bad like when they place bad. And then when you actually go out there and it happens to you, literally the last 2 days of that event were the worst.
I think I can remember seeing some pretty depressing tweets like from you and your team, like when it comes.
We just wanted to go straight home, like fully. It was just we didn't go to the event. None of us did. Like none of us went back to the event to watch the finals or anything. It's just a horrible feeling getting knocked out early, and not doing as well as you should be doing.
Especially when you travel all that way. I think you placed what, top 21 was it?
Top 24, and TCM and Epsilon placed top 20.
So yeah, it wasn't the best, especially considering obviously you do have good players and you are the best in UK. I don't know what it is like, because I've been trying to think about what it might be. Do you reckon it's kind of like jet lag, or just the fact that you're so far away from home, or does that not faze you?
Yeah, it could be that. And there's other aspects and factors that go into it.
Yeah.
But,
well, obviously, there's always going to be like teams. As weird as it sounds, obviously G3 is kind of a good example. Is you kind of have that home field advantage, as you know. The Americans kind of have that home field advantage of knowing that there are events. They've pretty much been to all the venues because it's all the same venues, just recycled. So they kind of know exactly what to expect. Do you feel just like that also as like an anticipation? Is like you not knowing what to expect from the venue, you not knowing where the layout's going to be, and kind of like timidness of knowing what it's like as well.
Yeah, you could say that also, but like that shouldn't come into it, man. You're a professional COD player. You go to these events. It shouldn't really
it's
matter.
no different.
Like, there's a station with 4 Xboxes and a monitor, 4 monitors.
You hold a controller, wear a headset, job done.
I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that easy. You make it
well, you wear a headset and don't really hold a controller, but
I do hold a controller.
Well, sometimes.
Moving again from me. Got to kind of touch on Swanee is obviously a lot of the viewership numbers is kind of Americans, so it'd be rude not to touch on Swanee, who's kind of the Call of Duty national hero.
Shining star.
He is the shining star. Have you kind of noticed anything different with maybe the way he plays, or maybe like the way Epsilon are as a team, knowing that obviously they've got people like Epsilon, and obviously Tommy as well, who's kind of said that he's not going to be sticking with them afterwards. Do you think that affects them? Because I mean, they're playing perfectly online. I don't really get to speak to them. Obviously, you as a player, you might speak to them. Do you feel as if that has some effect?
Swanee coming back from America, he's I would say, I'm not going to say he's a different player because he's still the same old statue.
Yeah.
That just gets kills with the AR and you don't want to push anywhere near him. But he's definitely brought something different to that team, because considering they were going to pick up quicker than you, Rush or someone like that, bringing Swanee back in, they've got such more AR dominance on the map. In S&D, his S&D knowledge is pretty T1. His hardpoint knowledge is pretty good. CTF's like he's just an all-round good player, man. Like you can't really say anything bad about Swanee.
And then,
He just makes that team 10 times better, right?
as you just said, obviously quicker than you, he's kind of that player who's kind of popped out of nowhere. Obviously, he was on that Lightning Manders kind of YouTuber star sort of thing. It's like a YouTuber star team. And obviously, as you said, he was kind of considered to be the best player on that team, other than obviously Shane and then Jake when Jake was on the team. Do you feel is like him stepping up to not just being YouTubers but actually competing at the highest level? Do you feel as if like that's kind of helped you and also helped a fan base? Because obviously all his fans from YouTube, do you think like that's helped the community grow as well?
Yeah, like his fans are kind of hardcore. There's this one guy called Paddy.
Yep.
Constantly on our backs, man, asking us when we're scrimming and all that. Like, yeah, it's good, man. Like, but to be fair, like he's literally dropped YouTube completely to like concentrate on competitive, which Fear Crads and Benny Central didn't do. They went back to doing YouTube and like that. So he knows where his commitments lie. And he wants to do well in this, so hopefully he can prove everyone wrong this weekend, because everyone's still saying he's a online player. But to be fair, he's not been able to prove himself. He's been playing with YouTubers for the last year.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly. That's always going to help. I mean, obviously, when Shane kind of came to that team, it kind of propelled them to new dimensions. Obviously, he kind of had that game knowledge of a COD pro, what a YouTuber wouldn't. And so now it's good to see him. I haven't really... I'm going to hold my hand up. I haven't seen much of your teams play, but from what I've heard, obviously, in the qualification games, he seemed to hold his own. He seemed to fit into place with that team. So it's always encouraging to see the fact that he as a player can step up, and he's actually got the time and dedication other than YouTube to obviously play and compete at a high level.
Okay, last question we've got is coming in from Kevin J. Smith, and he basically says, I'm still new to the EU scene, so who would you put as the top 3 teams and their rosters?
Alright, so top 3 would be THM and Epsilon. Their rosters are THM's roster is Shane, Gunchy, Moose, and Jerd. Epsilon is Swanee, Madcat, Josh, and Tommy. And third, I honestly don't know, man. That's up for grabs. Like,
well, I say it's kind of hard, like saying a top 3 when because you obviously want to include yourself.
Yeah, I kind of want to say us, or like it could be us, Mill, Tech or Aware. Like
you'll prove it at COD Champs.
Wait, hold on, EU teams.
Yeah. So you've got
so this could be anyone.
Yeah,
you can talk about
Aware,
Vitality
Tech.
X and like pretty much whoever you want. Fave.
Still the same. I was gonna say Brandon's new team, LXT's new team. They could be a top 3 team, but they're all young and they haven't played on the land with each other yet. So I don't know. They're just as good as us, I would say. They've been doing pretty well on 5Ks and 2Ks. So go on.
No, carry on.
So that team is Urban, Bancy, Rush, and LXT.
He kind of... The thing about LXT is obviously at Anti Pro he didn't have the greatest event. He was teaming with Rez. What's probably the reason as to why he didn't have the greatest event. But obviously that team was kind of a last minute. I believe it was a pickup for that team. Do you feel as if like LXT's now got to the stage where Bance is a good player, but those teams are all new? Is there a specific reason, do you think, as to why LXT's not finding himself on the top teams? He's having to like make his own team. I mean, obviously those players are all good, but they're not as well known as some of the other teams out there.
I'd say his team's pretty good, to be honest. Like, bearing in mind they're not known, but that team could do damage. I'd say he would prefer to be in a team like that than an Aware or a Tech, because they've got unproven talent that they can prove themselves at events and probably do better than some of the teams that would say he should join. I don't know. Yeah, like that, probably.
Right, I've just realised the time. I realised that obviously you've got a G-Finity very soon, so I might as well close up the show because, obviously you've got practice. I don't want to be the reason as to why, you're slightly under-practiced. So I don't want that...
Rage doesn't want the hate.
I don't want the hate, no, exactly. So, we'll go to Tommy, we'll go to you, Reedy, and then we'll go to me to close off the show. So if you just want to, say your affiliations, say your last final words, and then we'll close off the show.
Thanks everyone for watching. Affiliations wise, the likes of Ready Up Gaming, 50 Bomb Podcast I'm a part of. Big thanks to Reedy, for coming on today. And we will see you. I think we're doing a show next week, if I'm not mistaken, to recap. Well, we're planning on
50-50. You kind of said something what probably shouldn't be saying. Already dropping the intel. You're dropped from next week anyway. It's fine.
Okay. That's about it. That's all I've got to say. I'm done.
Reedy?
Thanks for having me on, Tommy and Alex. Yeah, that's it really.
That's it. No shout-outs. No sponsors.
Shout out to Infused. Yeah, well, tune into the stream this weekend to see us win. So yeah, we'll be in LA.
Win.
Hopefully.
I'm loving the confidence.
Yeah.
Right. Well, obviously, guys,
Straight up,
thanks a lot for watching the STiKS EU. All the codes down below. So obviously you got your STiKS for 5% off on your Scruff gaming controllers. They're amazing. And obviously you got your Code Kingdom for your 10% off your Gamma. I've been Alex, and a little bit of a special mention has to go to Paddy, someone who obviously Reedy said. He's kind of Reedy's #1 fan. He's kind of quick thinking he's #1 fan. And also it's his birthday today, so hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, Paddy, mate.
So obviously, hope you all have a good day, and we'll see you soon.